right, good day to you. My name is Fred Oakman, and as always, with me today is Mr. Jake Peters. We are PS This Is Awesome, a PlayStation podcast, and this is episode 193. This is a show where we share our feelings about the current state of PlayStation. And I hope you all enjoyed that Halloween intro. We have revived it again this season. So I'm excited to put that back on the podcast. A lot of hard-earned, hard-spent time, whatever. But before we get on with the show, I want to invite you all to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, youtube.com/PS This Is Awesome, and visit us at Twitter at PS This Is Awesome and Tumblr, psthisisawesome.tumblr.com. And if you want to make fun of our trophy list on the PlayStation Network, you can find me at anchorless_81 and Mr. Jake Peters at jakesaw01. And as always, you can write the show, psthisisawesome@gmail.com. And most importantly, don't forget to share the show with your friends. Be sure to leave comments, rate the podcast as you see fit. And as a reminder, this is a video podcast, and the intro is going to be kind of cool this time. So make sure you watch the intro for the Halloween episode. And you can watch it over on our YouTube channel if you prefer. And for new and or long-time listeners, we now have a Patreon where you can support the show at a $1 level called the One and Only $1 Club. Head over to www.patreon.com/PS This Is Awesome to become a $1 patron and get your free PS This Is Awesome die-cut vinyl sticker and a shout-out on the show. With all of that out of the way, Jake, how are you doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Good.
It's, whatever day it is. Wednesday
already.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing special about today for me. Just work.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. Just cool. Very good. Yeah, nothing special for me as well. Just trying to stay alive today. We'll see what happens. Trying to think if anything really great happened. The Hero Quest board game that had a HasLab, that board game that you and I played a couple times. Remember how like it's an old like early 90s game? Mm-hmm. Like a dungeon crawler, one of the first dungeon crawling kind of games that was accessible to all people across the US and even abroad, and it was really old, and copies of this game, it's so beloved by board game tabletop gamers that complete copies were selling for like $500, $600 online. Well, Hasbro, and I think I talked about this on the show before, but they put together, it's their version of a Kickstarter, but it's called a HasLab. So this time last year, HasLab said, hey, we're going to redistribute and make a slightly bigger board for Hero Quest, re-up the artwork, add, male and female versions of the heroes. And then they were like, oh, and if we hit this, then you get a free this character. If you hit this limit, it's like a Kickstarter, right? So anyways, and then Joe Manganiello, the actor who is in True Blood, apparently has a ridiculous basement, right? So he's famous. He's got a really nice house. From what I hear, he has like mounted dragon heads and stuff as if he killed them, like down there in his basement. And he has these epic Dungeons and Dragons games with famous wrestlers and famous actors, and they all love it. So if you're part of Joe's special group, you get to go in and play his custom Dungeons and Dragons missions and quests. He's such a super nerd. He's been on talk shows talking about it, and he has this really, really, I guess, beautiful wife. And she was in an interview, and they were asking her, like, what do you think about this? She goes, oh, I don't go down there. And the talk show was like, are you sure he's not doing something he shouldn't be doing down there? And she's like, oh no. She goes, I go down there, I give them their I bake for them. They get all kinds of treats. It sounds awesome. So I love this Joe Manganiello guy even more. Well, how this ties into Hero Quest, right, is, and of course all that I'm paraphrasing, but the HasLab, if we hit the backing limit of what it should be, he has created a brand new quest campaign for Hero Quest. It comes with a dragon figure. And so all of us nerds were just like, oh my God, yes, Hasbro, we got to hit this. And we didn't hit it. We came really close. And as a surprise, Hasbro said, listen, you guys came so fucking close. Joe's put the work in. We're going to give it to you anyways. So everyone's losing their mind, right? And everyone's like, when's this shit coming out? Because they said it would be this fall. And it's real funny, like the main bad guy in Hero Quest, his name is Zargon. He's like the evil wizard, and they're doing this really fun kind of cute thing where Zargon took over the Hasbro or the Hero Quest Twitter, right? And he's like, this is now mine, and he's cracking jokes left and right, just all the time. I'm writing him once in a while. His PS is awesome on Twitter, and he's always like writing me back and stuff. And like Zargon is, it's hilarious because I'm trying to be witty back with him. But anyways, I guess the exciting thing is Zargon posted today a picture of the completed mythic tier, which is what I put in for, ready to go in a warehouse. And he's like, the tracking numbers are finally coming together for this, so keep an eye out. So everyone's losing their shit. So that's my nerdy, exciting life right now, this Hero Quest thing. And I love that the board's going to be a little bit bigger, and all the furniture is going to actually be made out of actual molds. It's not going to be cardboard that you fold up, and it's going to be legit. It's like an upgrade, 100% upgrade. And they're actually putting so much time into it. They're going to make a companion app so that you can actually play these dungeons solo, or you can create your own dungeons a little better. I've actually been working. There's this program, if anyone's interested at all, and I doubt that you are, but if you are and you're familiar with this game, there is a great resource called Yeoldin, yeoldin.com, and it's all the different country versions of Hero Quest, all the rule books, all the different stats, and they also have homebrewed programs that you can use to make your own quests, right? And this one, I have to use it in Terminal and Mac. I have to get in like the Mac's DOS prompt to get it to launch and stuff. And it took me like 3 days to figure out how to even launch the thing. And eventually I got it. So I've been building a 4-quest campaign that I can't wait to share with my friends and maybe upload for some for some feedback on some of the stuff for Hero Quest. That's the beauty of this game. But anyway, so enough with me. I got my 3D printer. I'm going to be printing some cool shit, for the Hero Quest campaign, Jake. And it's essentially Darkest Dungeon, but on a Hero Quest board, dude. It's so good. Why wouldn't you want to do that shit? Especially in the wintertime.
Yeah, that game's pretty interesting. It was a little bit, I don't know if ahead of its time is the right way to say it, but it was like, it's basically D&D light, which is kind of an interesting thing in and of itself, because D&D is really cool, but it's not simple.
Complex.
So like the part of the problem with D&D is that you have to have a dungeon master with a really good imagination and knowledge of the rules, which is not easy to come by. So, when you have a game where it's kind of all written out for you and everything's a little bit kind of tighter in terms of the player progression and all that kind of stuff, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's a good, like, kind of like, we're nerds, but we're too old to really care about the minutia of shit. We just want to kind of like feel like we're playing like a cool board game, and it is kind of cool. And it's okay to like have a few drinks while you play, and because the rules aren't super like hard to remember, like you said, and it's a game you don't have to be super strategic about, which is fun. The flavor text is good. There's a lot of minis. There's a lot. It's really, really rad. It's such a fun game, and the characters, they can progress from quest to quest, and you can keep your character for your next quest. And there's a shop in between the levels and stuff, and buy like fucking crossbows and armor and shit. It's cool. Yeah, dude. So I'm excited about that. I had an incident with my 3D printer. The UV screen already broke on it. I only had it for a week and a half, technically. So I wrote Elgu, and I told them it was a manufacturer defect. And they were like, yeah, it definitely shouldn't be broken already. And it wasn't like it cracked. It just wasn't. It was like a third of the screen was just not working. And I was like, why are my prints failing? Every time I have a fucked up print, it's like causes a big pain in the ass. You gotta like take all the resin out, strain it, and it smells bad. And like I'm like, this shouldn't be fucking happening. So I did a screen test, took a picture of it, sent it to Elgu. Their customer support was like, here's your tracking number. Yeah, it's fucked up. Here, we'll send you a new one. We're really sorry. And those are considered consumables, the screens. And they have like how-to videos how to replace them. They're real simple to replace. They built those things so that you can like work on them. So I'm excited to get my new screen, get back to printing. I've been trying to print everything on one side of the plate, but when I do that, the right side still fails because that light isn't working right, so it causes problems. So it's pretty much out of commission right now, which is really disappointing, but it's just all part of the game. So I'm getting a free screen. The screens are $50 if you need to buy one, but I'm getting mine for free and a bunch of hassle. So anywho, let's talk about games a little bit, Jake. That's what we're here for. That's what the listeners want to hear. Before we get on with the show, I want to let you know that we did have someone write us on YouTube, and that's always nice. I always like to see feedback, so I appreciate you writing us. and it was relevant. So for the listeners, anybody who's interested, apparently the ride game that we were talking about is on sale right now. And they said they heard us talking about it in that video and how realistic it looked, and they kind of looked into it, and they were considering picking up Ride. And I just told them, hey, make sure you check out the Digital Foundry stuff. And they're like, yeah, sometimes those guys are a little too critical of things. And it looks cool. So we kind of helped the listener maybe check something out. So the actual response was just like, a few weeks ago, you guys spoke about Ride 4. It's on sale for $20. Tempted to buy it after seeing the great video you talked about. And then they said, yeah, I did see their video. Thanks. Sometimes I think they're too critical. As long as it plays and looks great, that's enough for me. And then one more warning. I was just like, man, those games, we would love to get into those games, but they're just so difficult. So there's a difficulty factor at play as well. But thanks for listening to the show. We appreciate the feedback. We appreciate you letting us know that Ride 4 is on sale right now. I don't know if it's still on sale, but if you do play it,
it's $20 right now.
Write us. Let us know how you feel about it. If you do play it, let us know if it's as cool as it looks. So I'm still playing Darkest Dungeon. I'm not really playing anything else yet, really. I've been kind of busy. Jake, are you still diving into Far Cry?
I'm playing Cockfight Simulator 21 is what I'm playing right now. And
talking my language.
I'm just, fighting cocks.
Yeah.
All day long.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I am playing Far Cry still, and it is really good. It's buggy, which is a little bit not like buggy in a way that's super problematic. I did encounter one bug that was annoying the shit out of me. It seems like a lot of the bugs that I've encountered have to do with keeping the game in standby or rest mode for too long.
Okay.
It seems like the longer you keep it in that mode and you don't actually restart the game, I don't know if it's like a RAM leak, like a memory leak issue or something, where it never runs bad, but I noticed that because I never turn my games off.
Yeah.
Or I literally just, whenever I hit
rest
pause
mode,
and
right?
then I just put the console in rest
Yeah,
mode.
I do that shit all the time, man.
And for days and days and days. And unless there's like a really important update or whatever, I need to shut my console off for some reason.
Yeah.
And I noticed that after about 5 days, the frame rate, it was running fine, but the frame rate dropped. Instead of running at 60 frames, it was running at 30 or 40 frames, which was really weird. So I was like, it seems like it's running a little bit sluggishly. So I rebooted it and it was totally fine. And another bug that I noticed about the game that's super fucking annoying is but is not super problematic is, how in a lot of games now, open world games, you go up to someone and to talk to them, you'll have to hold a button down and a little wheel will go, and then they'll it'll give you a chance to basically let go if you didn't want to talk to them. So instead of being a tap, it's a hold. Well, in Far Cry, there's a lot of instances where you walk up to someone, you hold the square button down, the little wheel will fill up, and then just nothing will happen.
Oh, yikes.
And you have to keep walking around them and pressing the button, and then eventually they'll start talking to you. And I had an instance where I did a quest where I had to interact with something, and I kept pressing the button, nothing happened. So I just I just shut the game off and booted it back up, and because it was the way the game saves, I was really close to where I should have been. As soon as I did that, it worked totally fine. So it's there's something going on with the way that the game stores everything whenever it's in rest mode, and there was just a patch for it. So I don't know. I haven't had any issues since the patch, but that was just yesterday. So I'm not sure if they fixed some of that stuff or not. It actually, people talk about how janky the Bethesda games are, the Elder Scrolls and Fallout and all that.
Yeah.
But this kind of puts into perspective sort of this game isn't storing hardly any information as far as the way the world is constructed. And you talk about something like Skyrim or Fallout, and it's literally when you put the console in rest mode or whatever, it's remembering every fucking chest that's open in the world, every door that's open, every person that you've killed, you know, where everybody's located, all the items that you've picked up. Like, it's actually, to me, insane that it works at all. And then you have a game like this, which is like, yeah, it's open world, yeah, whatever, but there's no permanence to the items in the game. It's like, okay, yeah, if you found a chest and you opened it, there's no longer, like, you can't open that chest anymore. But like in Fallout, you can open a chest, put shit in it, and then like 60 hours later come back, that chest will still have all that stuff in it that you put in there. So like it's kind of weird. And I know that they're releasing Skyrim again next month for the 10th anniversary, and it like comes like packed with all this creator content and all this stuff. I don't know if they've announced how much it's going to cost, but if it's not all that expensive, I might pick it up.
Just buy Skyrim again.
See if I could. I hope there's another trophy list. I'll platinum it again. Yeah, I'll platinum Skyrim for the 3rd time. That'd be kind of cool. I seriously want, like, if it wasn't for the fact that I had to do it completely in VR, I would consider trying to do the trophies in VR, Skyrim VR. But it would just be too much. I mean, it takes a long time. I mean, a long time in quotes is relative. But I think when I platinumed it on PS4, it took like somewhere between maybe 50 and 60 hours to get the platinum. So, which isn't a long time considering the size of that game, but it is a long time if you've already played the game like 5 times. So, it's pretty interesting. But one of the things I wanted to bring up is I've actually considered, I know we've talked about it on the podcast before, but I've been knocking around playing the Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Oh, yeah.
Going through all 3 of those games.
You don't own it, do you?
I don't. No, I've played 2 and I've played 3. I've never played 1 all the way through. And actually 2 and 3, I played 2 on PC and 3 on console. So I've never played it where I could keep a story arc all the way through all 3 games. So I'm considering picking it up and doing that to like actually sort of have a continuous progression through all the games. And but what I'm waiting for, that's an EA game and it's about the right age. I can definitely see this being a game that's a Black Friday sale.
Oh shit.
So I'm going to hold off for that because it would be kind of a sweet game to start like on Christmas break. But like,
I don't get one of those.
I don't know. I know, like, you know, it's not what I've been playing, but it's just something that I've been thinking about with games.
Yeah, no, that's cool on my list. I need to come up. You and I, what we need to do for the show is come up with each of us like a 10-game list of games that both you and I, we each have our own 10-game list, want to play, has been on our backlist or our backlog for so long, but we haven't jumped into yet. And then before the end of the year, we both need to commit to play at least 1 or 2 of them. Not by the end of this year, but like we need to pick one, and then that'll be our resolution for 2022 is that we are going to go back and play, you know, 1 or 2 of those games. I think that's a good idea. And then we could talk about it.
That would definitely be a good episode theme for some point.
Maybe before the new year. Our New Year's resolution, a backlog resolution.
It might be a good game an episode to do before the end of the year for sure, because I definitely have a list of things that I could come up with that would be pretty, and I wouldn't do something cheeky like have, you know, all 3 Mass Effect games on there like individually. It'd be like you know, the trilogy collection. You know what I mean? And I know that's like a fucking 100-hour commitment to do all 3 games, but like
shit,
it would be awesome. Like dude. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Mass Effect 2 is, I'm not even fucking around, it's one of my favorite games. And it's so good. And 3 is really good too, right? But Mass Effect 2
I've never played any of them. I don't know.
I think it would be awesome, to be honest with you. I think it would kind of make the podcast, it might make the podcast a little stale if we were playing the same game. Yeah. But I think it would be kind of neat if we played it like played through them at the same time, and then we could have like mini.
Well, in order to do that,
episodes.
In order to do that, what we would have to do is be like, and I have to get to X point in this game by the next show, right? That way we can be on this, and we got to stop at the same spot. That way we can be on the same page and talk about our experience. Because like if I jump way ahead of you and you're behind, I want to talk about stuff that you can't talk about, and vice versa, right? So we got to like.
Well, the way that I would do it is I would say, you know, let's say this is a New Year's resolution thing or whatever. Let's just say we're starting January 1st. I would say that like, okay, by the end of February, so you have 2 months, you have to beat Mass Effect 1. And then it's like, okay, so at the end of Mass Effect 1, at the end of February, we'll just do an episode that'll be Mass Effect 1.
That's a good idea.
You know, because I don't think it's going to be too.
How many hours is Mass Effect 1?
I haven't played Mass Effect 1 all the way through, so I'm not really sure, but I think Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3 both took me about 30 hours to beat.
That's not too long. All right, yeah. Let's talk more about that later. Hold those thoughts. Don't tell us any more of your back catalog. That'll be a good episode for December. Let's move forward a little bit, Jake. Let's rearrange the notes here a little bit because the PlayStation State of Play happened. And we're not going to do that right out of the gates. First, we're going to cover a couple news stories, and then we're going to play a little advertisement for a Patreon page, and then we're going to get into the State of Play and talk about it, and then we're going to wrap the show up. So we're going to talk about new games as well, but let's talk real quick. I don't know if you saw, but the GTA Trilogy, I kind of expected there to be no graphical enhancements. Apparently, they've shown some screen grabs, some video. I don't know if there's video or not, but it looks significantly better, but it doesn't look like they had artists go in and tweak every graphic, right? It almost looks like they applied some sort of filter to it, some sort of tightening up around the edges code that just says, don't make this shit look blocky anymore.
My understanding, and I don't know this for a fact, but my understanding is that they remastered this in Unreal Engine, I think, and so like the lighting is way better, and that's why the biggest reason why it looks so much better. And then they also went through and kind of smoothed up all of the character models and everything. A little bit. So in the cars, like instead of having like
real polygon,
the faces be really blocky and like you can't really see what's going on and everything, like they're a little bit more
cartoony, right?
I don't know if you remember, like one of the things they talk about, like I was watching a video that was explaining like some of the enhancements, and in the old like Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City, like the characters, they looked like they were karate chopping everything because they had no fingers. So like all their hands were like, it was a common PS2 thing, right? It was that like they didn't have any individual fingers. They just had a hand, and there would be like lines that would make it look like
old G.I. Joe figure hands that were just like claws almost, like they just.
So in the new one, they actually gave the models individual fingers.
Oh, nice.
So if that's something that you're interested in. Honestly, my biggest thing, I don't care that much about the graphics, although the enhanced lighting I think will go a long way. Doing it in 16:9 instead of 4:3 I think will go a long way. And the other thing too is modern controls. They have the modern, my understanding is it's going to be modern GTA 5 control scheme for. And to me, that makes it instantly worth playing.
It's that'll definitely extend the quality of life for those games for sure.
Because I would love to go back to them. GTA 3 and Vice City are like two of the most impressionable games for me growing up. You know, I can't even fathom how many hours I got out of Grand Theft Auto 3. And just, you know, me and my cousin and my brother, we'd be sitting in the basement, passing the controller back and forth, just going on rampages, see how long we could last, and, you know, putting in the cheat codes to like make every vehicle fly and stuff, and like all the crazy shit you could do in that game. It was really, and it was so ahead of its time. It's amazing. And I have Liberty City Stories on Vita, which is basically Grand Theft Auto 3, but for PSP and Vita. And the controls are so bad, dude. They're so bad.
Yeah.
So like if I could go back through and just replay those games, get that nostalgia factor, but be able to do it with modern controls, I'm all about it.
And it's going to run at 60 for sure. You know, it'll be.
Oh yeah, it almost has to.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. So that's a little follow up on what we talked about last show. And then real quick, the free PS Plus games possibly have leaked for November. We're going to get. Now they did say that we're going to get 3 VR games with the new PS Plus. Now, I don't know if this is going to include it or not, but one of the games that leaked was The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners in VR, which I actually heard was really good in VR. We're going to get Knockout City, PS5, PS4, which I also heard was a good game. I haven't played it. We're going to get First Class Trouble, which was shown at the State of Play, which we'll talk about that. And then we're also going to get Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning on PS. It was patched for PS5, but it is a PS4 game. But I'm excited about this.
That's the one. That's the one I'm most interested in because it's one of those that game is. I don't know if it would make my top 10, but it's definitely one of those backlog games that I have just from PS3 era that everybody was like, "This game is so fucking awesome." And I never got into it.
Yeah, neither did I. I think it's one of those games, though, that people didn't expect much from either, which is why I think it exceeded expectations and surprised people. But I don't know if it holds up or not. But, hey, now we can check it out and try it for nothing. So those are the tentative games that leaked for November. I think it's a good pick, and it's weird because they're touching on different players, right? Knockout City's probably it's like a dodgeball game kind of, I think. So you're kind of tapping into the online play. I think it's an online game, so online gamers. Walking Dead VR, you're kind of tapping into the Halloween thing still a little bit with VR though. And then First Class Trouble. Oh, okay, here's a new game. And then Kingdoms of Amalur is like, oh, for anybody who is interested in like an RPG-ish kind of game. So they're touching on a bunch of different stuff. Now, I don't know if that's going to tickle everybody's fancy, but it's an interesting selection, and it's not a disappointing one, I don't think. If you are an MLB The Show player like I am and belong to Plus like I do, you will be gifted a lot of free packs. You're going to get 42 Series Legend packs, a Diamond Ball Player pack, and 5 The Show packs. And these packs, you can earn in-game stubs to purchase. Now, let me tell you, that's a lot of playing to earn these, so they're just going to hand them out here, I guess, this fall. So if you're an MLB The Show player and you want to open some baseball card packs online, keep an eye out if you have Plus, because they're going to be giving those away. Apple Music is now integrated into PS5 for anybody who subscribes to that. As an FYI, you can find my record and my band, One of My Land's record on there. So I'm just saying, put that shit on while you game. Try it out. Listen to it. Enjoy yourself a little bit. I don't know if you have to have Apple Music to listen to it. I'd imagine you would. A lot of people do. A lot of people have Amazon, Spotify, Apple Music. I personally have Amazon just because I'm too lazy to unsubscribe from it. So Amazon Music, it's probably the least preferred out of all of them. But it's just kind of linked up anyways. Jake, do you use any of these streaming services or no?
For music, I subscribe to Amazon Music Unlimited, Amazon Prime, or whatever the fuck it is.
Mm-hmm. That's what I have.
But I don't have Apple Music. I don't have any of the Apple stuff just because I don't own any Apple products.
Yeah.
But I tried to start a subscription to Apple TV so I could watch The Fucking Long Way Up, but apparently it's impossible.
Yeah,
for me
we
to
heard
do,
about that on the show.
Yeah, so I'm not going to go into that, but yeah, I that's cool that they have an app for it now, because I know a lot of people you could probably use it to listen to music while you play games and stuff,
or
which
podcasts.
Is
Apple Podcasts is a different thing, but Spotify has our podcast actually. You can turn into PS. This is awesome. On Spotify, or
does Apple Music not have podcasts on it?
So they've broken it down to Apple Music, and then they also have Apple Podcasts. Now I don't know if you can pull up podcasts on Apple Music or not though. So I better be careful how I word that. But yeah, and then the last news point, because I don't have a whole lot of news here, but we are going to talk about the state of play here in a minute, is Housemarque finally updated Returnal to allow a suspended save, which means it saves, but when you pick the game back up, that save is automatically deleted, so you can't revisit it, thus not allowing folks to cheese their way through the game. But they were asking for it, they got it. Now you don't have to sit through this grueling, you have to use your suspend. It's an option to do like this weird save, I guess. I don't know the details, but this was part of a new patch.
I watched the video. I mean, they just did a little video on this. They showed they had something else that they added that didn't seem like anything I cared about. But like the suspend mode, it's really weird. Like if you're in a run, you can go start, say like suspend cycle, and then it'll bring up a screen that's like you can exit the game from this screen and it will save the game. So if you go out of that screen, it will delete the suspend mode.
Oh yeah.
But if you stay in that screen and you exit the game from there, it will save the game until the next time you boot it, and then it'll drop you right where you left off and then delete the save. So it's pretty neat workaround. It seems a little hacky to me. So like I'm wondering if there's something so fundamentally, like, I don't want to say flawed, but there must be something fundamental about the game that doesn't allow them to do like a standard like save thing where they can control whether or not people are spamming saves.
It's kind of hard to say.
But excuse me. But I kind of wish I would have had this whenever I was playing it, but I don't think it would have made that big of a difference.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, it just would have made it so that I could play other games while I was playing Returnal. That was the biggest kind of problem, is if you were in rest mode and like your power went out or something like that, your run's toast. So that's super annoying.
Excuse me, man, we're really gross today. You're coughing, I'm burping, I'm coughing. It's just, man, it's late, dude. I've got my new schedule. I've been waking up at 5:45 every morning. It's killing me. I know you're an early bird, or at least you do it, but man, it's so hard for me. I was gonna ask you real quick, we got a free golf game this month for Plus. Did you try it at all? Did you download it?
I completely forgot about it. I would definitely be interested in playing it.
I downloaded it. I haven't even opened it up yet. I've been just enthralled with Darkest Dungeon.
I just don't know. I'm kind of like over the golf thing now. Like, it came at such a weird time. Like, you know,
he's over
maybe in
the
like
golf.
the spring I'll be interested in playing it. You know, I don't know. I am interested in trying it out.
Make sure you download it.
Golf games.
Add it to your library or whatever.
I think I already did add it to the library, but I'm not.
You best
positive.
check, man. All right, so hey, let's talk about the PlayStation State of Play. Welcome to the PS This Is Awesome Patreon page. For those of you that don't know, my name is Fred Oakman.
And I'm Jake Peters.
And we're a PlayStation podcast currently in our 10th year. Our first episode aired in July of 2012, where we discussed and speculated on the arrival of the PS4. Over the years, we've used this podcast to take a break from adulting, share our love of video games, and in particular, PlayStation.
The audio podcast is available on all major streaming services, and we have recently made the leap to uploading video content and video podcasting to our YouTube channel, as well as the very occasional Twitter post or live stream. Over the years, we have covered everything from PS3 to PS Vita through the launches of PS4, PSVR, and now PS5. As our audience has grown over the years, we have decided to start this Patreon with the hopes of creating a medium in which we can give you the opportunity to help support our show.
And as a test bed, we're starting with a single tier. It's called the one and only $1 Club. So with your support at the $1 level, we're going to mail you a premium vinyl cut sticker and give you a shout out on the podcast. But at this time, unfortunately, we can only ship to the US and Canada. But this is subject to change depending on your interest.
So whether you're new to the show or you're a frequent flyer, we are forever thankful for your support and hope you can find it in your little gaming heart to join us in the one and only $1 Club. Until next time, like PlayStation, podcasting, and Patreon,
PS, this is awesome. So the first thing that they showed was a game called Deathverse, Let It Die. They said it's going to release in 2022. I don't know a whole lot about this game. It struck me as an online multiplayer game. Jake, do you have any input on Deathverse? Did you watch this?
I did, and I don't know, man. I have a big problem with the way that these Japanese game companies make trailers for games.
Bad.
They look bad. I don't know if it's just that they maybe they like them that way in Japan. I'm not really sure, but like it's not very cinematic. Nothing like it doesn't like look very like it's cut very well. Like to me it doesn't do the game any favors.
Yeah.
So, you know, and thematically, the game doesn't look like it's for me because, like you said, it looks like basically an arena combat game. maybe like a hero combat.
Well, here's
game.
something that's interesting. So I'm online looking at it, and I don't mean to cut you off, but it says it's a multiplayer melee survival action game, and I'm on VentureBeat, and it says here that this game is a sequel to 2016's free-to-play roguelike RPG Let It Die, and is set after that
weird.
game takes place and in the same reality show. So I didn't even pick up on that from the trailer.
Let It Die. I looked it up. I mean, I was looking into that game at one point. It looked pretty wild, but I don't know how popular it was.
Well, apparently,
It seems weird that they would go from like an RPG
to a multiplayer
this like
survival
battle game,
melee game.
Yeah, strange.
All right, so the next thing that they showed was really strange. Like, it was like this guy in a vocal booth, and he's just like talking in like this real narrative voice, you know. And then it's an animation, and then they announced this game called We Are OFK, and they described it as being a 5-episode series about starting a band that gives the player dialogue choices, where you can also text and flirt with within the game, and then you play each episode. You get to play an interactive music video, and it's coming out in 2022. Okay, We Are OFK. We Are OFK.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know how you felt about it, but I thought this was a really good showing for this game.
It was really.
I thought that.
Yeah.
It was humorous without being cheesy. You know, it was very interesting. Like it didn't seem, you know, a lot of times when they do, like, games try to do trailers like this, where they're like breaking the fourth wall and they're cracking these like jokes and stuff, I would say generally like 70% of them fall flat. But I think that this one actually, it made me smile. Like, it made me interested. I definitely am interested in looking it up whenever it comes out to see what it's all about. It seems like it might be an interesting kind of, you know, maybe it's an interesting Telltale-like game. You know what I mean? We don't know much about the gameplay part of it. When they say you play an interactive music video, what the fuck does that mean? I'm sure you're not like, you know, platforming around on stage or something like that. So I assume it's some kind of Life is Strange type thing, which to me, you know, I like to play one, maybe 2 of those a year. I don't know, but it looks cool. I thought it looked cool,
dude.
Personally.
It's so weird to me. It's like meta or something. So is
it a real band?
I don't know.
It sounds like it's a real band, which is cool.
I can't figure it out right now, and that's why I'm looking at my phone. So if you go to ofk.cool, it takes you to the website, and it says interactive series coming soon, a making of the band game and interactive EP. And then it says OFK, follow/unfollow, choose your preferred music service, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Deezer, all these music streaming platforms. And then it says Team OFK, and it shows all these different developers, like drawings of them. Press inquiries, business inquiries, and download press assets. But it has links to like Apple Music and stuff. So
I don't think it's a real band. I mean, they maybe created music that like is this band, right? But I don't think that, because I just googled OFK, and it's all about this game. There's nothing.
It's
on
a
here
cool
that's
idea.
like,
I'm not against it, man. Now I doubt it's my kind of music, but I could probably get into like a band simulator where you start a band, you know, and you're trying to make it, and you know, I don't know. It sounds kind of cool, actually.
I think it looks neat. I mean, honestly, for me,
the art direction was cool too.
It was probably my second favorite thing of the showcase, to be completely honest with you.
I would agree. So OFK, and then we got a surprise from Young Horses. Bug Snacks expansion coming out in 2022. Now I'm surprised, Jake. This might be something that you're interested in.
Talking about Bug Snacks.
Yeah. So there's going to be giant Bug Snacks, snacks with hats. You can redecorate the huts now, the interior design of them, and it's called the Isle of Big Snacks 2022. So
it's a stupid fucking name. I get what they're going for, but it's a Bug Snacks, the Isle of Big Snacks. That just sounds stupid. But Dude, I loved Bug. Dude, when the PS5 came out and we got Bug Snacks for free, I really enjoyed playing that. I could see myself jumping back in.
Yeah, so I mean that was a good showing too. After that, we got more info or more gameplay or something from Five Nights at Freddy's. Security Breach 12/16/2021 is the release date. That's coming out this December. No interest whatsoever in this from me. This just kind of...
Dude, this guy that made Five Nights at Freddy's is like a gazillionaire because of like teeny boppers and streamers. It's amazing. It's one of those games that I do not understand, but people love it.
Yeah, I don't...
It's like the whole thing is... It's like a teeny bopper version of Outlast.
Yeah, it's really
But
bizarre.
like you're stuck in an arcade with these like kind of serial killer animatronic...
That look like the Chuck E. Cheese band.
Right? Like the culture is interesting to me. I don't care about the game at all, but the culture is interesting to me.
All right, fair enough. And then I don't know a whole lot about this next game. This next game they showed was called Kart Rider with a K. It looks like a kart racing game, 2022. It looked fine. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't buy games like this. It's
one of those things where it could be really fun and it could be really a really neat online game. I don't like the art style at all.
Yeah.
I appreciate that they're doing something different. Like, it's definitely a unique art style. It's very like plasticky, like toy kind of looking.
You almost need to have friends to game with to enjoy a game like this.
Yeah, but it's a kart racer. You know, looks kind of moddable. It looks like it's got a drift mechanic like Crash Team Racing or something like that. So I'm interested to see how well it does. Am I gonna buy it? Probably not. To be honest with you,
I actually missed one, by the way. Prior to Kart Rider and after Five Nights at Freddy, they actually showed a game called Death's Door.
Oh, dude,
November 23rd.
Yeah. I forgot about this. Yeah, so technically OFK is my third favorite
Death's
thing
Door?
in the
I don't
showcase.
remember this one.
Dude, Death's Door is fucking awesome.
Oh, it looked like an RPG or something, didn't it?
So I haven't played it, right? But it's been on PC and Game Pass, not Game Pass, but it's been on PC and Xbox. And dude, people are fucking raving about this game. So it's like an RPG, like kind of like a light RPG action kind of game, but it's very it has some kind of tactics to the combat, so it's got a little bit of challenge to it. But my understanding is that to me it looks really good, and from what I understand, it's a phenomenal game. So I'm just excited just by word of mouth about this one.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and it has fantastic reviews. So it's out on Windows, Switch, PlayStation. Well, it's coming out on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS. It says here that Death's Door is a 3D, this is on the Wikipedia page, 3D isometric action-adventure game. The player takes on the role of a small crow who works as a reaper, in quotations, collecting souls for the Reaping Commission headquarters, an office-like bureaucratic afterlife. And it says Death's Door is a 2021 action-adventure video game developed by Acid Nerve and published by Devolver. Digital is released for Microsoft Windows, Xbox Series XS in July of 2021, with a release for the Switch, PS4, and PS5 being planned for November 23rd. Positive reviews upon release, with several publications praising its mechanics, simplicity, and difficulty level, likening it to The Legend of Zelda and Dark Souls games. So that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's really got a great big following, I guess. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people were bitching about this PlayStation State of Play, but I mean, look at this. We got this new OFK game that looked cool. Bug Snacks expansion, Death's Door looks pretty sweet. Now, they're not Uncharted, they're not Last of Us, they're not God of War, it's not, the new Resident Evil, it's not, the new Final Fantasy Remake edition. But I mean, come on, be realistic. So far,
dude, I mean, and when we get through the rest of this, it'll make a little bit more sense. But like, I know people were probably expecting third-party games, like you were saying, something like Tomb Raider or fucking, like Abandoned, or
Hideo Kojima just pops up. He's like, hey guys.
Or like, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. But like these big ass like Western games, I think maybe they should have probably kind of implied a focus on Eastern titles, because that's what most of this is like kind of Japanese, more Japanese centric. I guess that's not true. I take that back. That's not true because I'm looking at the list right now, and I guess technically more of it.
Yeah.
But a lot of the games on here that are huge games are kind of Japanese centric. Like the next.
Let's talk about the next one.
Talking about
King of Fighters 15 to 17/21. That can't be right. It's got to be 22. February.
Is that when it's coming out, or is that when the beta is happening?
That's when it's coming out. February 17th, 2022. So the King of Fighters is like a really big fighting game. Somewhere else, I don't know any people that are really into it. I'm sure they exist. You know, we have our Street Fighters, our Mortal Kombats. We have our, you know, those kinds of games. There was a Virtua Fighter at one point, but King of Fighters is still around. This is a big deal, I think, for some people. Again, not for me, but it looked fine. It looked cool, actually. It looked pretty good. I mean, from somebody who isn't like, I don't have my ear to the ground in the fighting game world, but I mean, it looked fine. Like, I don't know what you want out of a new fighting game, new characters, what do you want? Like updated graphics, like faster, more tight controls. I don't know if you can tell that from a trailer, but I mean, it looked fine.
Yeah, I mean, King of Fighters is an SNK title, which is not like, it's not the biggest market over here, but SNK fighters have historically been pretty large, and King of Fighters specifically I mean, they have 15 entries. You don't make 15 entries of a game that's not good. If
it's failing, you quit. Yeah.
You know, like probably I guess the biggest sort of kind of brown note on this entry is just that like SNK is now like partially or almost like fully owned by like a Saudi prince who's not so nice of a person. But you know, which is kind of a bummer. But if you like King of Fighters, it doesn't mean you shouldn't buy it. I mean, unless you have you want to make a stance there. But like, yeah, I think that this is it's a bigger title than like the average Joe in America would think it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And might I add, you don't have 193 podcast episodes if it isn't any good. So
that's true.
King of Fighters can have 15 episodes. We have 193. So we're that much better than King of Fighters 15. That's all I'm going to say. Somebody's got to toot our horn. Come on.
168 episodes better than King of Fighters?
Yeah, way that much better for sure. At least. All right. Another game they showed was First Class Trouble, November 2nd, 2021. This is going to be included with, well, we don't know, but leaked, allegedly going to be free for Plus members in November. This
game,
go ahead.
What they showed looked fucking terrible, but conceptually, I mean, by that I mean I think that the showing was terrible, not that the game looked terrible. It doesn't look like a game for me. The way that they showed it was terrible. But it's one of those games kind of like this is one of those games that could be a hit because of PS Plus, where it's like you've got the whole idea is like you're on, I don't know if you're on like a space station or something, but you got like some people are like humans and some are like robots disguised as humans, and like you don't know who's who, and like the humans have to try to get out or try to accomplish a goal, and like and the humans and the robots are trying to stop them or kill them all. So it's like, and it's all about trickery and stuff. It seems very interesting to me conceptually. Am I going to play it? No, because it's a multiplayer game, but it's one of those games that could, like, by streamers and by PS Plus, could become a huge title.
Sure. You know what this felt like when I watched this? It felt like somebody saw that Among Us did so freaking, virally well. They're like, oh, let's do an Among Us style game, but make it like good graphics. And it was like, well, the graphics are kind of half-assed looking in this game. I would prefer Among Us graphics, but we should be getting that game soon on PS5 and PS4 soon anyways. That's not out yet. That was supposed to happen too. Wonder when that's going to happen.
It is. It's coming out at some point here. I don't know when.
But that's what the First Class Trouble reminded me of, like the style of game, kind of like an Among Us.
Yeah.
Where there's like an imposter, and then you're trying to pretend like you're not an imposter, and you're sharing the same goals with the humanoid, And the thing is, your android character in the game looks like a human character. It looks just like a human character, so you don't really know. No one knows, and you try to pretend, and you try to get other people killed. It's very much like Clue, but it's set, like you said, maybe in a spaceship or in the future. All right, so 2 games left. Divine Force 2022 by Square Enix. Another shitty trailer as far as I'm concerned. The graphics look terrible too. They look like, what is this?
This is
a remake?
This is a Star Ocean game.
Okay.
Star Ocean is like is like a historically large JRPG franchise.
Yeah.
This is kind of like one of those other games, kind of like Deathverse or whatever, where it's like, okay, this is clearly very Japanese. I don't understand the way that they present the trailer. To be fair, I think that this trailer was way better than the Deathverse trailer. But it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I don't know what I'm looking at here. It looks like a JRPG.
Is it a remake of an old game?
I don't,
because Star Ocean's been around forever. So I'm on.
Yeah, I think it's just a new entry, I think.
So the Square Enix Twitter, they tweeted and they said that today we announced Star Ocean, the Divine Force, the new sci-fi fantasy RPG is coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and Steam in 2022. Find all about it on the blog. And then you click the blog, and then it opens it up in the blog, and they're talking about this game, and the screen grabs look a million times better than what the trailer looked like. I don't know if it was an issue with the streaming, but it looked really, really pixely. Like,
that's weird. It looked fine when I watched it.
All right, well then maybe it was a viewing issue I was having. But yeah, there's all kinds of Star Oceans. You're right. And is there going to be turn-based? It doesn't look like there's going to be turn-based combat in this, or old. I
think it looks action. It looks like it's like live action combat. Well, not live action, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like an action battle system instead of a time battle system.
So they announce on here they do have Star Ocean First Departure R on the PS4, and that is a remastered version of the very first Star Ocean game in the series. So the new version enhances it further with full voiceovers, new character illustrations. So I wonder if that game's good. I bet you that game's awesome.
People really like the old Star Oceans. I know that the most recent new Star Ocean, people weren't that thrilled about. But I don't know. I thought this looked kind of cool. I just don't know anything about it. So I'm not really sure. These games are so hit or miss for me that like I almost have to try it before I buy it, kind of thing.
I understand.
I you know what I mean? Like, because it could be like I don't want to buy a game that's like 100-hour game and then like pick it up and fucking hate the combat, which is usually always a sticking point.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this game by NeoStream Interactive. The last game they showed was Little Devil Inside. And it's an upcoming, this is from the Wikipedia page, it's an upcoming action-adventure video game developed and published by NeoStream Interactive. The game's single-player and cooperative multiplayer modes both follow the professional and personal lives of explorers searching for monsters and supernatural events in a 19th century-inspired world. So awesome sounding. And it looks so rad.
I remember, not to call you out, but I remember when the PS5 was announced, they showed a trailer for this game,
and I was like, meh.
And I was like, I think this looks awesome. And I don't think you shrugged it off, but you were just like, like it didn't it didn't strike a chord with you, right?
Well, this trailer certainly did.
This trailer looks fucking dope. Like, it looks way better than the other one.
Yeah, I'm in now. They've got me.
It looks graphically really interesting. Like, I love the whole open world concept. It looks almost like, I love when games have a 3D environment that looks like toys, but in real life. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like the graphical style is almost like a toy kind of environment, but the models are so high resolution and the lighting is so good that it looks almost like toys on a table or something.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? There's something about it that looks great.
I love
and just the concept of it looks really cool. Like, and because there's a narrator in the trailer talking about what the guy's doing or whatever, and if he's like narrating the game as you're playing it, like, I think that would be really fucking cool. Until like, this was, whenever I talked about like my top 2 or 3, this was like the one that I was like, this is fucking awesome. This is probably my most anticipated thing. then Death's Door, then probably OFK or AFK or whatever.
I'm right there with you. Yeah. I mean, it looks
awesome.
I love the two different art styles though. Like when you zoom out on the map, right? When you're just traversing the map, it looks kind of cutesy, and like you zoom down, you're like, okay, I can tell that that's supposed to be my character, and that's, and then it's like you meet somebody on the zoomed out map, and all of a sudden like it shows you like a close up and a 3D modeling, and it looks super fantastic. And then the part where you stab that monster, and then you like he's impaled, and then you swing it and it flings off and it hits another enemy. That was just so cool. It's a nice little touch. And then when it pans around the side of the train, and it's almost like a Wes Anderson movie, like the side of the train just disappears, and you just see your guy sitting in there, and it's like, oh, he's gonna check his text messages or something, or whatever, write a letter or whatever the hell he was doing.
It's cool. Yeah, it's almost like when they're in the world view, it looks almost like pieces on a game board.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when you're in like we'll just call it the gameplay view. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
But when you're like, they're actually like, it almost has an art style similar to like a Puppeteer or something like that, where it's like that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks great.
Yeah, apparently you're playing a guy named Billy or something. I don't know. I don't know much else about the game. I'm looking here. They're advertising it as a third-person 3D action-adventure role-playing game with survival elements for sure. They showed him in the desert, and they're like, oh, yeah, you're going to go to some harsh areas, right? There's open-world exploration. They did indicate, Neostream indicated in an interview, that apparently the game's survival elements are easy compared to other games in the survival genre. And this is from the Wikipedia page. And they came out and I quote, it says, it's not about how long you can survive in a certain environment, instead being about taking a trip for a mission and surviving during the process.
That's cool.
Yeah. It says in-game survival elements include harvesting water from cacti and chopping wood to make a fire. Players can use a variety of weapons and tools to survive and accomplish their objectives, such as a sword, shield, gun, grappling hook, bombs, tent, and cooking equipment. And it takes place across multiple locations, different environmental conditions, including desert, snow, forest, mountain, swampland, deep sea diving. So it looks so rad. It looks really good. So they go on to talk on the Wikipedia, and it says that Neostream came out and said you need to prepare for any unexpected encounters with the weather. You have to have necessary intel about the region, equip your gear as you see fit, get on a vehicle, and react to unexpected events that arise during your journey. Depending on how you prepare for the mission and how you react and respond to events will determine how easily or how hard you can achieve the missions. So it sounds really cool. It's like, okay, you're going out on this fucking thing, you got a task. You're supposed to be the fucking person that's supposed to handle it, right? So as the gamer, you're supposed to know these areas. So make sure you pack enough shit in your backpack. Make sure you're prepared and you go out. And then that's where the survival elements, you got to get to the location. And then once you're there, it kind of probably opens up into that 3D action. But it seems really interesting. It seems like a board game. I couldn't have put it better. Like the far away art looks like a board game.
It's cool. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, Little Devil Inside, 2022, rad.
They didn't say when?
No, apparently there's a version of the trailer where they have the 2022, and there's a version of the trailer where they just removed it. So,
they announced it with the PS5, so I don't know. I mean, it's been obviously out there for over a year now, so I am kind of curious. I mean, that doesn't mean that it's behind or in bad shape or anything.
It's also a South Korean game.
That's cool.
So we had another one last show we talked about, right? That looked really good. I want to say we talked about one last show.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But if it comes to me, I guess I'll talk about it. I'm going to pull up last show's stuff. But, dude, do you have anything else? Because this is kind of a shorter show. I got to work in the morning. I wanted to make sure we got an episode recorded. I've got a busy weekend. One of my band is playing Friday and Saturday. And I just got stabbed recently with the COVID booster. I'll be outward about it. But I'm around a ton of people all the time. And my job kind of puts me around a lot of people as well. So got that. So I don't know how I'm going to be feeling tomorrow. And then, like I said, Friday, Saturday, we got gigs. So I wanted to make sure we got an episode recorded. And Jake, do you got anything else for the podcast? Anything you want to share? Anything good going on for Halloween? Because this is our Halloween episode, even though it's not very Halloween-y.
We talked about this last week about the fucking Halloween movies. I am still interested in maybe digging into that this weekend. I don't know that I'll have time just because I've got hockey and family stuff and work trip next week and all kinds of stuff. So like I don't know, but the weather sucks. I fucking hate the fall. I know you love it.
I don't like this kind of fall. This fall is like been miserable.
It's just raining constantly. It's like 45 degrees and fucking raining every single day. I don't know when I'm supposed to mow my fucking lawn. And but I will say this. I'm excited for the holidays. As much as I don't like, I was telling someone at work today, because we were talking about like making cocktails and things like that. And I told the guy at work, I was like, fall is like my least favorite weather of the entire year. I fucking hate it. I like, I don't mind like the trees and leaves and like I don't mind when the air gets crisp and all that. It's the rainy fucking nasty bullshit that I hate. Ground gets all soppy, you can't mow or do anything. Anyway, I digress. But I love the holidays, the family time, everybody getting together, the food, and it's also, just to bring it back to what I was saying earlier, my favorite time of year to drink alcohol. So yeah, just not in that like I drink a lot, but that the type of stuff that I drink during the fall and the winter, like you have like a dry wine with your Thanksgiving, or it starts getting chilly out, so you have like a smoky scotch or like a hot cider or something like that.
The hot cider, that's my wheelhouse.
Like I love when it's like kind of cold and you kind of curl up on the couch and you got fucking sweats on and you're just wrapped around to like a
blanket
hot
or
drink or like a scotch or something.
Yeah, wearing a Snuggie too, right? Like you gotta get a Snuggie. Yeah,
well, no, I don't have any Snuggies, but I have blankets and I have sweatpants, so there's that.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. I that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm so far behind getting ready for winter. My pool's still open. I gotta get it closed.
Do you guys get people to your place for trick or treat or no?
No, I just turn all the lights off. They're doing because if we get someone, it's gonna be like two people or one person, and there's no point. You know what I mean? So like I would rather not be in one of those. Like in Meadville, it made sense because it was a constant stream of kids. So like I loved it. I would sit out on the porch and I'd see all the kids in the costumes for the, whatever. It's ridiculous now. It's like an hour and a half of trick or treat or something like that. Dude, like you can't even do it very long anymore. Yeah. It's like before dark. So like, but like out where I'm at now, I'm like a mile from the nearest house. So like if a trick or treater comes out, it's because they're driving down the road and they see the lights on or something. And so they dump their kid off.
Probably a ghost if your doorbell rings.
But like, so it's like, I just turn the light off because I'll just be unprepared for it. Yeah. Even if I do have candy, it's like, oh, now I got to be like ready for this hour for something that's probably not going to happen. So
puts you on edge a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. It's whatever. I mean, honestly, now that you're saying that, it might be tomorrow.
It is tomorrow for us. Yeah, it's tomorrow for us. And last time I handed out candy at Trick or Treat, we had so many people that I went through like $40 worth of candy in like half an hour, and there was still an hour left.
I know what you're saying, but I mean, personally, I really enjoyed seeing all the kids in their outfits and all that when I was in Meadville. And like, you have like some of those like older kids that probably shouldn't be trick or treating that are kind of dicks, you know what I mean? But like, most of the time, it's like some fucking 3-year-old in their Bumblebee outfit. Yeah, you're like, oh, this is like, awesome.
They're a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like, oh, yeah,
or
like want to be a dinosaur?
Like Spider-Man or something, and it's like, oh, this is cool. I like seeing this. And
the person that
I never really dressed up. Sarah would dress up like in like one year she dressed up in like a wizard outfit, like from Harry Potter.
Cool.
She had like a Harry Potter outfit she wore when she was handing out candy and stuff.
I do love seeing the people enjoy it, man, but they jack the prices up of candy right around this time, and then you're like, for a long period of time, I was buying like candy every once in a while, not like months and months in advance, but like I'd buy some. And then I'd be like, okay, I'll buy a little more. It's just like, dude, because our neighborhood, dude, we get so many trick or treat. Like, it's just like, I can't do it. Like, I can't afford it. Like, I don't know. I got to figure something out. I didn't get any candy this year, so the light will be out. And maybe I'll just grab some hot cider and sit on my neighbor Donna's porch and hang out with her. And we'll look at people.
I do understand. Candy is so expensive now, especially if you live.
If you want to give something decent out, right? Like I don't want to give out candy corn. I want to give out like maybe mini Reese's Cups or Snickers or something that a kid's actually gonna fucking want, right?
Yeah, you buy like a bag of fun size candy. It's like fucking $15,
dude,
and you need like 5 of those to get through the night. Yeah. So I mean, maybe not that many, but you need a lot.
If you lived here, yeah.
So I don't know. I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to touch real quick on. I said that we were talking about a game that was another game coming out of South Korea that we talked about in the show. So I found it. Remember that trailer for that game called Wanted Dead that looked really cool? That third-person game that we watched that trailer for. It was being directed by the director of the Ninja Gaiden series, and we both agreed it looked like it had a lot of potential. And the trailer indicated a release window of 2022 for the PS5, and it was really graphic and violent, and we were like, yeah, it all just depends on how the gameplay works, if it's good.
Sorry.
So
yeah, this trailer looks fucking
That's another
awesome.
one coming out of South Korea. So
that's cool.
Yeah, dude. So they're putting out some really cool games. So I just wanted to get on the record for saying that, yeah, we did bring up another South Korea studio, and that was Salil, I think, was the name of that one. I just like scrubbing through the trailer for this game right now. It looks so fucking cool. Yeah, Wanted Dead looked rad. So anyways, we got new games coming out. I forgot to touch on this. Let's go through this real quick and we'll close off the show. New games, October 25th, Lady in a Leotard with a Gun on PS4. Man, I couldn't have thought of a better name. October 26th. This game apparently is really, really good and surprising people. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, PS5, PS4. People are saying it's fantastic, and they figured out how to do group combat in a single-player game. Like they nailed it. October 27th. Amazing Breaker, PS4, Cyanide and Happiness, PS4, Death Park 2, PS4, Lucid Cycles, PS5, PS4, Nowhere Girl, PS5, PS4, Princess Loot Pixel Again, PS4, Pumpkin Jack, New Gen Edition, PS5, Quick Maths, PS5, Wind Peaks, PS4, and Wraith, The Oblivion Afterlife, PSVR. And then October 28th, Backbone on PS5, Bassmaster Fishing 2022, PS5, PS4. Fatal Frame, Maiden of Black Water, PS5, PS4. That's weird. Didn't even hear anything about that. Riders Republic is going to be released on the 28th, PS5, PS4, and Roki, PS5, and finally Voice of Cards, The Isle Dragon Roars on PS4. So there's some games for you. If I had to pick one, I'd say Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just looking at it's got an 81 on Metacritic right now, which is awesome. I'm glad. I'm happy for them. I hope it sells well because that game, whenever it was announced, I was like, I don't know if this is going to do very good at all. Yeah. And I'm glad to hear that it's doing well because I was concerned. So
yeah,
I'm interested in checking it out. I don't know if I'll play it, but I'll probably watch some content on it.
You and me both, man. Yeah, it looks good. I love the Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, the movies. I like those a lot. The humor's good. There's just going to be a slight disconnect between the actual characters in the movies versus the characters in the game. They're not voiced by the same people, and their arts, they don't quite match. You can't use the likeness of whatever that dude's name is. But all in all, man, cool. Well, that's all I got. Unfortunately, there's no music closing track for the show, so if you guys want to submit something, make sure to send it to psisawesome@gmail.com. We'd be happy to put your band or your friend's band or your music on the show. And that's all I got. Jake, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. It's bedtime.
Yeah. Hey, check your candy out there when you get home. Make sure no one put razor blades in your apples. And eat up, enjoy it, have fun, have a good, safe Halloween, everybody. Appreciate it. We'll be back next week. So like Darkest Dungeon, DayZ, and Death Stranding, P.S. This is awesome.
Awesome.